Hey guys, how's it going? So, if you followed my owls, I decided that I want to be a wand maker when I grow up. I got my official requirements right here, and the books that I had to read to become a successful wand maker. And I did pass every one, so now, August 1st to August 31st, I'm ready to take on my NEWTs. If it sounds like I'm just babbling nonsense, I'll put the links you need down in the description. Basically, this is the Magical Readathon hosted by G over at Book Roast. It's a great chance to read. I love how into it everybody is and how much time and effort she puts into it. It is absolutely amazing. Definitely check it out. But all the information will be down below. So basically, when I passed my owls, I was on step 1 of becoming a wand maker. I was able to come up with this little thing. But now, I'm going to take my NEWTs and I'm going to come up with a better wand, and I'm going to be a real professional wand maker. So, let me tell you about it. There are different requirements for this one. On the bottom here, you can't really see it, but it says what's required for NEWTs. So I need an O in Herbology, E in Care of Magical Creatures, and A in Charms. O is outstanding, E is excellent, A is acceptable. And then I have my list of prompts here, and basically I just, I go and pick out each one. So to get an excellent, I have to first read the acceptable and then read the excellent. Then if I want outstanding, then I also have to read the outstanding. So an outstanding would be 3 books. You know what I'm getting at. So let's see what I gotta do and how I'm gonna do it. First, I need an O in Herbology. So for that one, I need to read 3 books. The first one is an A. It says, Mandrake, quick, put your headphones on. Listen to an audiobook. Now, I'm not positive which audiobook I'm gonna be listening to for this one because I listen to audiobooks while I walk to and from work. It might be the 3rd book in the Aragon series. Inheritance Cycle? Is that what it's called? I don't remember. It depends on basically when it becomes available at my library and how long it takes me. I'm currently listening to the 2nd one, but I'm almost done it. So I'll definitely be listening to an audiobook, but it really depends on what's available at the time. I can only book it out for 3 weeks at a time, and it's currently the 2nd week of July. So if I book it out now, I won't still have it by then, if any of that makes sense. So yeah, we have to wait for that one, but probably one of the Aragon books. The next prompt for an excellent is to read a book between 350 and 390 pages. For this one, I'm going with Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom. This one comes in at 382 pages, and I haven't had this book that long, but I've been really looking forward to getting into it, and I think it'll be fun, and I like all the cool pictures in it, so this will be really good for a readathon. And finally, to get my outstanding, I need a book with flowers on the cover. This was so freaking hard. It shouldn't be hard. Flowers are everywhere, but I don't have very many flowers on my covers, apparently. I went through every unread book on my bookshelf, and I have a lot of unread books on my bookshelf, and I found 2. One of them was a historical fiction about the Tudor queens, I think? I can't remember exactly which one it was, but it was one of those ones, and she has a little, not really flower, but kind of a flower pin. Brooch, that's the word I'm looking for. And it didn't really count, so I'm actually going with Ash Princess by Sebastian. There's a flower there, and there's a couple little flowers, around. You have to look closely, but there are flowers in there. And yeah, I have been wanting to read this book for a while. I heard a lot of good things when it first came out, and then after that I heard a lot of really mixed things, but I'm still very excited to read it. All I know is it's about a princess whose kingdom is taken over, and her parents are murdered, and then she's held captive, and basically that kind of story. But I think it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be dark, and I think that's gonna be perfect dark fantasy summer read. Then I need to get an excellent in Care of Magical Creatures. So my first prompt to get my acceptable is Follow the Spiders. Why couldn't it be Follow the Butterflies? A book title that starts with the letter A for Aragog. For this one, I'll be reading A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. I really like Charles Dickens, and I've read this, I want to say when I was 17? I read this a while ago, but I don't really remember it. I know that I read it kind of in 2 chunks. I started reading it for school, and then we moved on to something else, and then a couple months later I tried to finish it. And I remember finishing it, but I don't really remember enough of the story. So I've been meaning to reread it, and I really like Charles Dickens, so I'm looking forward to picking this one up, and I think it'll be a good way to break up the kind of dark, creepy fantasy books I have so far, because, it's Charles Dickens. And then for my excellent, I need to read a book that's under 300 pages. I am going with The Horse and His Boy by C.S. Lewis. This is the 3rd. This is the 3rd book in the Chronicles of Narnia series, and I'm really excited to read this one. I'd like to finish the series sometime this year, and I've already read the first 2, so I think this one will be an excellent addition, and it's a nice quick read, so it'll be really good for this readathon. And then I only need to get an acceptable in charms, so for that one I need to read a book that I think has a gorgeous cover. This one was kind of hard, but then I remembered in my last video I was talking about my favorite cover of the year or something like that, and I mentioned that this one was the top contender, but I hadn't bought it this year. I think I bought it at the end of last year. Anyway, I'm going to read Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. I really wanted to read this book by the end of the year anyways, because I love Strange the Dreamer, I love Muse of Nightmares, and I'm really looking forward to trying other Laini Taylor books. So I think this will be great. I own the whole series, and I've heard good things, so I'm really excited to get into it. I really don't know anything about it other than I guess there's like monsters, and yeah, that's really all I know. But I went into Strange the Dreamer knowing basically nothing, and that was really perfect for me, honestly. So aside from the titles of the books, that's all I got. So I'm excited to figure out what the heck's going on and if I can love this one as much as I loved the other Laini Taylor books that I read. And now that is all the books I need to read to become a wonderful, wonderful NEWTs qualified wand maker. But I'm sometimes an overachiever and I want to see how much I can get to. So what I decided to do as like an extra mini challenge just for myself, I'm going to take the other 2 categories that I had to read for my owls, which was Ancient Runes and Arithmancy, and I'm going to read at least the acceptable book in that category as well. Just because, I don't know, I want to, and I feel like I kind of have to push myself. Not that this like isn't challenging, but I don't know, I just want like a stretch goal, basically, is what I want. So, to get an acceptable in Ancient Runes, it's, AWAS. I don't know how to pronounce that. Partnership. Read a book recommended by a friend. For this one, I'm gonna go with The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This is like 4 of my reader friends' like favorite books, and I've heard lots of good things about it. I did hear that the ending gets a little bit like dry and maybe unsatisfying, but I figured if I'm already that far into the book, I'd be able to plow through the ending even if it's something I don't like. All I know is this book is basically about a night circus, and it's like kind of creepy and kind of like historical, fiction-y, fantasy-ish. I don't know, but I'm really excited about it. I think that even if I don't like it, it'll be a really good one to just read to say I've read, and then I can at least make it my own judgment of it. And then finally we have Arithmancy. To get an acceptable on that, I must read a book that ends on an even page number. For that one, I am going with Bitten by Kelley Armstrong. This one ends on page 422, I believe. 422. Now, this book is on my books I need to read by the end of the year list because it's one of the books that has been unread on my shelf for the longest. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it. I'm giving myself permission to DNF this one. Now, I don't tend to DNF books, so honestly I really don't know if I would, but apparently this is kind of smutty, and there's nothing against smut. Like, if people want to read smut, like, more power to them. Like, I hope they find the best smut out there, but it's not something that I'm really comfortable reading. Like, I just don't like much sexual content in my book at all, so I don't think this is going to be for me. I don't think I knew what it was about when I first bought it. I don't even know. I think it was actually a gift. But anyways, I'm going to at least give it a try, and if I don't like it, hey comment, if I don't like it, I can always, you know, just donate it, unhaul it, whatever you want to say, and not have it on my shelf anymore. But regardless, by the end of this, I want to either have this read or no longer on my shelves. So here are all the books I will be reading, as well as 1 audiobook. I think I can do that. Like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 in an audiobook. A couple of them are thicker, but that's definitely doable. Yeah, I can totally do that. That's fine. I haven't quite decided on what order I'm going to be reading them in. I was going to try to end with Daughter of Smoke and Bone, because that way I could read the next 2, like, right afterwards. But I kind of want to be reading the 2, like, extra books before that one, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna kind of play it by ear and see how I go. I think I have a pretty good variety. Like, I have a couple like dark fantasies, and then I have like a Charles Dickens, and then I have like a historical and like a children's book. Like I think that I have enough that I'm not going to get bored of anything. So we'll do our best. I'm probably going to be doing weekly vlogs. We'll see how it goes. I'm finally kind of figuring out how to do daily vlogs for writing, and I haven't quite figured out how to do reading vlogs yet. So if you have any tips or advice for reading vlogs, feel free to let me know, because I would love to, you know, learn as much as I can. But yeah, that is going to be my August. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be so much fun. If you're participating in the NEWTs, please let me know. But yeah, those are going to be the books that I'm reading for my NEWTs. So stay tuned to see how that goes. Don't forget to subscribe so you can stay up to date with that and all of my regular videos that I post every Wednesday and Saturday. I would like to say that I'm playing around with the idea of moving that to Wednesday and Sunday, just because my shift changed and that just works out so much better with my schedule, but we'll see. For now, Wednesdays and Saturdays. Anyway, I hope to see you guys next time, and until then, have a great day. Bye!